The Dark Cave. We've been here several times already, but this time is the last time. Promise. And we start out with a Wobbuffet. Had my levels been a lot lower than this, I'd be scared, actually. But now, it's just a walk in the park. I mean, sure, Wobbuffet is a huge blob of HP, but defense is, not so good, in fact. And, okay, level 43 for Lapras now. That means I'm going to... Oh, hold on a second. Safeguard? Nah, I'm going to pass on that. So, as I was about to say, I'm going to change my lead. I'm going to go with Gengar. Thunderbolt should help take care of those bats, and Shadow Ball for the rest. Yeah, I encountered that Wobbuffet, and it's quite appropriate because I had something to say about the thing. Well, not just about Wobbuffet either, but about something else entirely. A few videos ago, I believe I mentioned that there was going to be a Dream World expansion called the Spooky Manor, as it's going to be called internationally, because yes, it's going to be released internationally on September 28th. And there are 6 Pokemon that have been confirmed so far. 3 of them have no Dream World ability: Duskull, Chimecho, and Misdreavus. They have no Dream World ability because Pokemon that have Levitate as their only regular ability don't have a Dream World ability for some reason. Maybe it's just because, you know, they're obviously levitating and there's no point in trying to pass them off as someone else. But anyway, there's one thing though. Duskull evolves into Dusclops and then Dusknoir, both of which have pressure, but that doesn't mean that they have a Dream World ability. They don't. So that's of the 6 that were confirmed, 3 that had no Dream World ability, 2 that have a crappy one. I already mentioned Spiritomb with the Infiltrator. Pressure is a lot better on this, which is pretty telling because Pressure really isn't such a good ability, except for, you know, very, very niche uses. Sometimes it's going to come in handy in a battle, but that happens once in a blue moon. And here's the False Swipe TM, which was just within inside of that area where I did all that leveling up. It's not nearly as troll-worthy as the Earthquake TM in Black and White, where you can see it the first time you go into the desert, but you can't get it until the post-game, I believe. Oh wow, yeah, that was really jerkish of them. It's like, you want that Earthquake TM, you want that Earthquake TM, well fuck you, can't have it. But yeah, back to what I was saying, the other Pokemon I was talking about that had a crappy Dream World ability was a Houndour, which is going to have Unnerve in the Spooky Manor. Compare that to Flashfire or even Early Bird. Yeah, once again, there's no point in going out of your way to get a Dream World Houndour since its Dream World ability sucks. And the icing on the shit sundae, the supreme insult, the last Pokemon that's known for now that's available in this place is Wobbuffet, which is a Pokemon that ironically should not ever have a Dream World ability because it needs Shadow Tag to operate. Otherwise, it's going to be Generation 2 all over again, where you can switch 100 times while Wobbuffet hopelessly goes through its PP and eventually struggles itself to death. So, yeah. And by the way, the ability is telepathy. Not that anyone gives a crap, but it's just a fact that Wobbuffet without Shadow Tag is absolutely unworkable. And the last time I talked about this, I bemoaned the fact that they couldn't have something like Litwick to salvage everything, because I actually knew about this, but I had a brain fart and forgot for like 5 seconds when I was saying this, is the fact that the overworld sprites for the Unova Pokemon haven't been programmed into the game, so even if they wanted to, they couldn't have Unova Pokemon in the Dream World for whatever freaky reason. And one thing that I'm wondering while I'm talking about that, though, even though they can't be programmed into the dream world, I'm wondering, because there are a few Unova Pokemon that have overworld sprites in the game. I'm thinking mostly of Krokorok, for example. You encounter some Krokoroks in houses and stuff. So I'm wondering, could that sprite potentially appear in the Entralink Forest, which would then allow them to put the Krokoroks in the dream world if they wanted to? Not that we would want any of that, because its dream world ability is Anger Point, which is far, far behind Intimidate and even Moxie. And okay, this guy here is going to give me the black glasses, I guess. There we go. This boosts the power of Dark-type moves by 20%. But back to what I was saying about the spooky manor. As I said, they couldn't use something like Litwick to salvage everything. But Nico CW reminded me that there are other Pokemon that could be used, most notably Sableye, which has Prankster as a Dream World ability, which actually, surprisingly, makes it workable. So much so, in fact, that given what it's doing in the Dream World metagame, it would actually become overused if it ever got its hand on Prankster. So, I'm sort of hoping that there are actually more than those 6 Pokemon, though I wouldn't hold my breath, because the first expansion, which never had an international release, by the way, only had 4. Sure, one of them was Anticipation Eevee, which could be obtained in female form, but otherwise it was not really worth it. Oh, by the way, for those of you who didn't know yet, not that it concerns any of us because it's a Japanese thing, but there's going to be a Wi-Fi Mewtwo event in Japan soon, and they've revealed all but one move that the Mewtwo is going to have. We already know Psystrike, Shadow Ball, and Aura Sphere, which means that more than likely the 4th move is probably a brand new one that Mewtwo doesn't have access to. Now, I'm really wondering why they're doing this, because there are tons of those events that give absolutely worthless moves to their corresponding Pokemon. Pikachu and Raichu say hi 100 times. God knows how many special moves those two had, and they were all completely useless. Yet they go out of their way to give the guy that's ranked number 3 on the Uber ladder, which is already pretty damn high, a brand new move. Wasn't Psystrike good enough or something? Well, anyway, I guess it could turn out to be completely worthless, so we'll see when it becomes public, I guess. So, we're out of the Dark Cave for the last time, as I said, so I'm going to fly back to Blackthorn, heal my team, and after that we're going to go on Route 45. Route 45, really awkward to navigate, because it splits into 3 different paths right off the bat, and then the paths rejoin, and then it splits into 2, the 2 paths rejoin, splits into 2. You get the idea. It's really a mess to navigate. I'm going to change my lead, by the way. I'm going to go with the Raikou, since, well, both Raikou and Entei still haven't had much time to rack up EVs. Imagine if Lapras isn't full yet, and I've had it for all this time. Okay, yeah. I'm bringing Furret along with me, because now that I'm done with the Dark Cave, I won't have the need for Flash anymore, and I'm pretty sure that there are, like, cuttable bushes or something. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need that Furret soon. I actually needed it in the last episode, and I was blissfully unaware of that until I came up to the bush, and it's like, lol, nope, you can't do it, you don't have cut. But on to something else. I guess it's a bit late to be talking about this, because I wanted to cover that around the time Team Rocket invaded Goldenrod. But something that not many people seem to know is that Ariana and Archer were actually featured in Fire Red and Leaf Green. The reason why I'm saying that, and by the way, I'm well aware that they are still the nameless executives that they were in Gold, Silver, Crystal, but I'm 100% sure that it's Ariana and Archer, and the reason why I'm so sure of that is because, well, if you look at the lineups of the two Rocket executives that you fight in the Rocket base on 5 Island, you'll note that, well, both Ariana and Archer have 3 Pokemon in both Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and 2 of them for each one of the 2 are identical. There's only one Pokemon that varies. And by the way, yes, you don't need to tell me if you already know about this, but I'm well aware that Archer's coughing was actually a wheezing in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and then it de-evolved back into a coughing in time for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but I guess that was done for balance purposes, because, well, 5 Island, we're talking about a post-game area, so if you fight the big boss, the head honcho of Team Rocket in the post-game, and it doesn't have fully evolved Pokemon, then that would be a little shameful. It's a lot like how Lance has lower levels in this game than in Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Red, Leaf Green. But yeah, the fact that their teams are very similar, not perfectly identical, but still very similar, doesn't leave much room to the imagination, and it's almost certain that those 2 people that you fight in 5 Island are Ariana and Archer. And the thing about these 2 as well, I already mentioned how they came to merge 2 different battles into one character with Proton and Petrol. Ariana and Archer didn't really have that problem because Archer was only fought once from the very start, and Ariana, well, it's known for a fact that you do fight her twice, even in Gold, Silver, Crystal, because when you fight her in the radio tower, she explicitly mentions how you beat her up back at the Mahogany base. So I guess that's your bit of trivia for the day, which is appropriate considering I never LP'd Fire Red, Leaf Green, and I still don't plan on doing so. The closest thing I will ever get to that was that April Fool's episode I did a while back, but other than that, I still have no intention of doing that. And while I did mention the Sevi Islands exclusive stuff near the end of my Red LP, just to acknowledge the fact that there's extra stuff, Heart Gold and Soul Silver wasn't out yet. Heck, it wasn't announced until the month after, if I remember correctly. Though I guess it would have been fairly easy to make the connection when it comes to Archer, because in Fire Red and Leaf Green, he says that he'll be the one to keep Team Rocket alive while waiting for Giovanni to return, and that's what he ends up doing in Gold, Silver, Crystal / Heart Gold, Soul Silver. By the way, before I finish this video, one last thing I want to mention. A lot of people replied to me about what I said about the Nostalgia Critic a few videos ago, and that despite problems YouTube was having and maybe is still having, it seems that, well, there were a few differences of opinion regarding what Red Super did. I'm not sure if I got it right, but most people seem to agree that as far as the general fan base went, they took it way, way too far. I mean, it could be far worse. Tommy Wiseau could have a web show about video games, but there's no way that's ever gonna happen. Right? Right?
I am relevant to your interests.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
So anyway, how is your gaming life?